Hello everybody, this is Axter99. First thing I want to say in this video, and this is extremely important, is that to everybody out there, I don't care if you're 40 years old and you've been driving for, 20 plus years. I don't care if you're 85 and you've been driving for 70 years. I don't care if you're 18 and you just got your driver's license last year. Everybody needs to realize that when you get into a car, when you get into a vehicle of any kind, you have at least 1.5 tons of metal and aluminum and mechanical moving parts that you're responsible for controlling while you drive down the road. Whether you're driving 20 miles an hour down the road in your own neighborhood, make sure that you are watching out at all times for kids running in front of your car. You always have to be focused on the road ahead of you and expect the unexpected. You need to be cautious. You need to be alert. You need to be paying attention to the road in front of you, watching out at all times for anything. Defensive driving is there's nothing I can preach more than driving defensively, and always expect the unexpected while you're driving. That way you're ready to apply your brakes, to make sure you're not going too fast, so that make sure you're not following too close. All these rules of the road. And what I'm trying to do out here, people, is I'm trying to save your life or somebody else's life. And what I want to talk about today is a very popular smartphone application on Android devices and iOS devices. And the application is called Snapchat. This is a application that a lot of people use to not only chat with their friends, make new friends, and share pictures of each other on the application. Now, I've never used this particular application myself, but I know it's extremely popular. A lot of people use it, especially when they go to parties or friends' houses or to new places. Maybe they're on vacation and they want to show all their friends, them having a good time wherever it is. Okay. Now, there's obviously other uses for something like Snapchat, but we're not going to get into that here. What I want to talk about is one particular feature or filter that is on this Snapchat application, and it is causing people, especially it seems like the younger generation, to freaking lose their minds. And this filter is called a speed filter. Now, this filter was intended for, to allow people to share their facial expressions or pictures while chatting with a friend while they are on, say, a roller coaster ride. A roller coaster ride would be excellent for this because it can show, when those roller coasters get up to high speeds, it'll actually tell on the picture that you take of your face how fast you're going at that moment. So you could sit there, get on a roller coaster, and while you're going at the fastest speed, snap a picture of your face and how you look and send it to friends for, lots of the LOLs and giggles. Your face open, your eyes wide open, your mouth agape, whatever. Also a good application to use, if you're on an airplane to show how fast you're going, because what the filter does is it uses your phone to determine how fast that the phone is traveling when you take the picture. So good application to use like on a roller coaster while you're on a train or a plane or something like that. But what people have started doing in way too frequent numbers is using this particular filter to drive their own vehicle, and while they're driving, access this filter and take a picture of their face while they are doing excessive speeds driving their car. So again, this goes back to what I was saying right at the start of the video: attentive driving. First of all, you don't want to go at excessive speeds. You're breaking the law, and you're putting not only yourself at risk, but every other driver around you on the road, you're putting at risk by doing a dangerous stunt like speeding excessively. It's one thing to go 5 miles over the speed limit. It's another thing to go 50 or 60 miles over the speed limit. We've had cases of people using this filter on Snapchat to travel at speeds well over 100 miles an hour to take a picture of their face so they can send it to their friends and everything like that, saying, wow, here's my face while I'm driving 115 miles an hour. Look how much of an idiot I am. That's what I would think if I got a picture like that. I'd be like, what the hell are you doing driving 115 miles an hour and taking a picture of your stupid mug? Because that's exactly what it is if you're trying to do that. Stupid mug. So what we have here, people, is an article that just popped up today talking about this filter. And, it can be fun while you're riding a train or whatever, but dangerous if you're behind the wheel. Now, a driver was trying to attain a high speed on Snapchat, is allegedly to blame for a car accident outside of Atlanta, Georgia, that left the victim with traumatic brain injuries when they got hit. Crystal McGee, this isn't her picture down here. This is just another picture of somebody else that was, wow, this is like, on a train or something like that, 167.5 miles an hour. She's not driving. This is just showing an example of what that filter and, what Snapchat can do. But there was a driver, Crystal McGee, who was driving at 107 miles an hour and then collided with another driver back on September 10th, 2015. And she was excessively speeding in order to obtain recognition through Snapchat by the means of a Snapchat trophy. So, according to a statement from the law offices of Michael Lawson Neff, McGee said she was just trying to get the car to 100 miles an hour to post it on a Snapchat, again, to try to make this Snapchat trophy, try to place a record. Unbelievable. Now, according to the complaint, McGee's Mercedes struck Mitsubishi being driven by Maynard Wentworth, leaving Wentworth with permanent brain damage. Now, Maynard said Maynard and his wife are suing both McGee and Snapchat for medical bills incurred as a result of the accident. And they should, and I hope they win. And this is what it's saying. If you haven't seen Snapchat's speed record, this is what it looks like in action. Okay. So, again, it talks about this is not the first time. McGee isn't the only person to face reckless driving charges as a result of this Snapchat app. A teen in Washington got into a rollover car crash while using FaceTime and Snapchat behind the wheel. There's also evidence that Snapchat was a possible cause of a car crash in Philadelphia that left 3 women dead. The complaint issued against McGee also cites an accident in Brazil in which a woman wrecked her car while documenting herself doing 110 miles an hour while on Snapchat. The woman snapped a photo of the speedometer prior to the collision with a caption 180 kilometers an hour, laughing my ass off. Yeah, so funny. And that equates to 112 miles an hour and just 5 miles more than the speed McGee was driving when she hit Wentworth's car. The woman in Brazil continued to snap pictures of the accident following the impact in her car crash, still taking pictures of her bloody face and using captions that translated to "Help, we've overturned the car." Oh, what the hell is wrong with people? When social media is so important to you that you risk not only your life, but every other person's life on the road to post something to Facebook, to Snapchat, to apply a picture on Facebook or Snapchat or any social application, doesn't matter. If you're doing it for YouTube, if you're doing it to make a YouTube video, you need to get help. There is no way in hell that you should be driving at these speeds, period. These speeds are dangerous even if your mother is dying, in a hospital 50 miles away. You don't want to drive at 110 miles an hour to try to get there quicker before she dies. And that's an understandable situation. You have a family member on their deathbed and you're trying to get there to say goodbye and that you love them before they pass. At least that's a halfway understandable reason to drive at speeds like this. But to drive at speeds like this, to try to make it on a record list, or to try to show friends how much of an idiot you are or how cool you are, whatever your thoughts are, for a Snapchat application, for any kind of social media. People, again, I go back to the statement I made. When you get in any vehicle, you are in control of well over a ton, sometimes 2 tons or 3 tons of metal and aluminum and engine parts, mechanical moving parts. That is a ton of weight that you're responsible for. You are driving a machine. You are in control of the machine. That machine isn't going to be able to swerve out of the way or automatically stop for you. You have to be alert. You have to be following the speed regulations, or at least staying somewhat within the law limits and the speed limits in your area. Those speed limits are posted in your area for a reason. They aren't just there to try to slow you down or inconvenience you. There has to be some control. We can't allow every knucklehead to be out there driving at 120 miles an hour because they think it's funny or fun, or they need to post a picture to Snapchat. Look, speed limits are posted for a reason, and when they speed limits are dropped to lower speeds, that's usually because there's been accidents in that particular stretch of the road, or because there's a stoplight coming up, or because you're in a city area where there could be lots of people, or, pedestrians or bikers or whatever. Those speed limits are there for a reason. And I just showed a video a few days ago about how many people break the law every day at stop signs and drive right through it. And then they wonder why their, auto insurance is so expensive. And these people get mad. These same people that blast right through a speed limit, a stop sign at 40 miles an hour, then get pissed off at a cop for giving them a ticket. But this here is way more ridiculous and way more blatant than anybody driving through a stop sign without coming to a complete stop. This here that we're talking about, when people are getting behind a vehicle and taking no responsibility for their driving and think it's funny or LOL to drive at over 100 miles an hour while trying to take a picture of their stupid face for social media or for a Snapchat app to get an LOL out of their friends, you need to quit driving. If you think that's legit, if you think it's okay to get in a car and drive over 100 miles an hour while taking a picture of your face, you need to quit driving until you get your head straight. And I'm not trying to be mean, people, but there are lives being lost here. This poor guy here has permanent brain injuries and traumatic brain injuries because of somebody getting in a vehicle thinking it's cool to drive over 100 miles an hour while take a picture of their face. Remember, people, driving is a huge responsibility. The only thing I can say is before you get in your vehicle again and you drive at speeds like this for any reason, even if you're driving too fast in your own neighborhood, and you're not really paying attention, maybe you're going 25 in a 15 zone, through your neighborhood just to go to the grocery store. I don't care. I want you to think about something before you think anything like this is cool again. Okay? I want you to imagine yourself. I want you to imagine yourself driving at some excessive speeds. Okay? And I want you to imagine a 3-year-old girl on a bike or on a whatever, running out in front of you while you're driving at excessive speeds. Whatever the speeds are, I don't care. I just want you to imagine, if you would, you're behind the wheel and your front fender crunch smashes in to a young girl who you later find out is a 3-year-old girl. And when you come to a stop and you go and you look at this poor young girl's mangled face, imagine having to look at that girl's parents, at her family, and tell them you're sorry. Imagine the guilt you're going to feel for killing a young 3-year-old child for the rest of your life. That guilt is something I know I don't want to have to live with. I don't think anybody that's human wants to have to live with the guilt of injuring or killing anybody else, not just a young child. That would be the worst. But the guilt of killing or hurting, big time hurting somebody else, another human being or other humans, a mother and her 3 kids, because you're driving too fast, you kill them or put them in the hospital, put them in intensive care. Something like that would be something that would nag on me for the rest of my life. I don't want to have to live with that. I don't want to have to live with somebody else's life, on me. Think about that before you actually think it's cool to drive at over 100 miles an hour to take a picture of yourself to post on Snapchat, people. Please think about that for just a moment. It's one thing if you're willing to risk your own life for something stupid like that, but it's another thing when you're risking other people's lives that you don't even know for stupidity like that. So, I wonder what you guys have to say. This has been Zaxter99. I hope that this message gets out to at least one person and I save at least one life. Maybe this won't, maybe I won't. But if this video gets out to one person, if I can save one wreck, if I can save one person from doing something stupid or driving over 100 miles an hour to take a picture of themselves, if I can save just one person from doing that, then this video has been well worth it. Be sure you share this video, people. Be sure you share this video. You have all the permission in the world to share not only this video, but any of my videos on social media with your friends. It doesn't matter. So you're welcome to go ahead and share my link, my video right here with social media. Be sure you share it. Be sure you comment. Be sure you subscribe. And be sure you rate my video. I want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching. This has been Zaxter99. Use your heads, people. Take responsibility when you get behind a vehicle. Please. Take care, everybody.